Hey everyone, it's October 8th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with Colombian serial killer Pedro Alonso López, known as the Monster of the Andes, who killed at least 110, but perhaps more than 300 victims beginning in 1969. And that is him right over there. Born in 1949, Lopez was the seventh of 13 children born to his mother, who supported herself and the kids through prostitution, and he never knew his father, who was murdered before his birth. At the age of 8, he molested one of his sisters and was kicked out of the house, being forced to fend for himself on the streets of Bogota. It wasn't a safe place to be for a child, and he faced molestation himself, so he joined a gang to have some sense of protection. He managed to get by on the street until he was 12, when an American family took him in and enrolled him in a school for orphans. But when a teacher molested Lopez at school, he ran away, and by the time he turned 18, he was in prison for auto theft, where he was gang raped by his fellow prisoners. In return, he killed 3 of them with a knife he constructed from materials he picked up in the prison yard. When he was released in 1978, he began stalking and killing young women and girls, and later estimated that he killed 100 victims in Peru. He often targeted girls from indigenous tribes, but was nearly killed by a violent mob when he was caught attempting to kidnap a 9-year-old girl from a village. They beat and tortured him and were prepared to bury him alive when an American missionary intervened and convinced them to hand Lopez over to the police instead. He was almost instantly deported from Peru because the authorities preferred to not bother with the complaints of their indigenous residents. Imagine that, an American causing a problem in South America. Luckily, it's never happened again, and you can't find examples of it in every single South and Central American country by doing 10 seconds of research. Lopez began wandering freely between Colombia and Ecuador, killing everywhere he went. When hundreds of girls went missing, some believe there was a human trafficking ring in the area, when it now appears to just be the work of one of the most prolific serial killers the world has ever known. It wasn't until a flash flood in Ecuador in 1980 uncovered the graves of 4 of his victims that they were ever even investigated as murders. Townspeople in an Ecuadorian village saw him with a 12-year-old girl and held him for police to pick up, who were able to use an officer disguised as a prisoner to get him to open up about what he had done. Lopez confessed to killing at least 110 girls in Ecuador, about 100 in Colombia, and many more than 100 in Peru. He told police, "I like the girls in Ecuador. They are more gentle and trusting, more innocent. They are not as suspicious of strangers as Colombian girls." He revealed that he sexually assaulted his victims, then stared into their eyes as he strangled them to death. Lopez preferred to kill during daylight hours, so he had a good view of his own crime. Police were skeptical of his claims, but after he led them to the graves of 53 different girls in the immediate vicinity, those doubts evaporated. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison, but local laws led to him being released in 1994. Arrested just an hour later for being in the country illegally, he was handed over to Colombian authorities who charged Lopez with murder. He was found legally insane and sent to an institution, but in 1998 he was deemed cured and released on $50 bail. What happened to him after that is unknown, but Lopez is a suspect in multiple murders in the 2000s, and it's possible he is still stalking and killing girls to this day. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Pedro Alonso Lopez, I say, happy birthday, you bastard. They're coat hangers.